People who are scared of cats were mice in a previous life. All We Imagine is Light was written and directed by Payal Kapadia, and this is set in the city of Mumbai, India, where in Mumbai there's work and money. Why would you ever want to leave here? Well, there's a reason why you might want to leave there, because even though Mumbai seems like a great city, if you can make it, for some, you can. For others, you're going to struggle, and then you're going to wonder, is the big city all it's cracked up to be? Also, I do want to shout that there's Hindu and Malaysian dialogue featured in this, so other writers were credited for doing that dialogue. And this may come as a shock to you guys, but there are probably going to be cultural things that I may not have fully grasped because I don't actually understand Indian culture, Hindu culture, however you want to phrase it. I heard a lot about this movie on the film festival circuit, and while it did not get a wide enough release for me to catch it in theaters, I was able to rent it on Amazon for a little bit because I'm always going to support films like this. If it's not on a streaming service, I'll gladly rent it. Heard a lot of good things about this, so what is the plot such as it is? You have Prabha, who is the main character, shall we say. She's a nurse, working hard, was part of an arranged marriage, hasn't seen her estranged husband in well over a year. He's working at a factory in Germany, trying to earn money and everything, so she's kind of alone. She does have a roommate, Anu. Sorry, Mork and Mindy reference, couldn't help it. And Anu is a free-spirited woman that has a boyfriend named Shiaz, who comes from a different place, shall we say, where that might not be the kind of relationship that some cultures, some people may accept. But she just wants to find some alone time to do some of the nasty, if you know what I mean. And also there's Parvati, who is an older woman that has been living in Mumbai for a number of years, and just a certain shift may possibly uproot that. There's a lot of really good stuff to get absorbed in, especially the guerrilla style camera work that basically just puts you in the perspective of these women. There are some gorgeous shots, some great cinematography, some great music. I mean, really absorbing soundtrack. It's just kind of melodic, methadactyl in the background. But it ends up bringing you into this city that feels both alive but also kind of hollow, because a big city like this has a lot of stuff just bubbling underneath. And I don't mean hollow in a bad way. I mean, people have big dreams. They go to the city, and then maybe they find out, well, shit, maybe things weren't all that bad. Maybe my big dreams have led me astray. And since Parab is a nurse and works really hard, she is a little bit stoic, shall we say, because of the aforementioned estranged husband and all that stuff. Anu, the actress, is magnificent. Parvati, great work by her. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names. I do apologize, but tremendous work by these three women. Really, really good performances. If you don't understand the dialogue, just pay attention to the subtitles and you're absolutely going to get the story, which, yes, on the surface does seem a little bit simple, but visually it's so arresting you can't help but get wrapped up in it. And also there's a cat. The cat is totally fine, and the cat is goddamn adorable there. I have a cat, and I'm happy to have a cat. Adopt, don't shop. So, again, really, really good stuff. Really absorbing, tremendous camera work, performances. Really all around one of my favorite movies of the year. I'm really glad I decided to sit down and watch this because it was well worth it. I'm going to get into spoilers for what I can do. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Once again, I do want to say, make sure that you don't pirate movies in general, but especially movies like this. Make sure that you rent, support filmmakers, because films like this, getting, a foothold in America, even if it's just on a streaming service, is really nice. So this is from Sideshow and Janus Films. I'm sorry, I can't help but say that. I know it's Janus. So I did like how Mumbai was presented to us as somebody who obviously has heard of the city, seen some pictures, has never been there. I guarantee there's almost zero chance I will ever be able to go to India. But yeah, Anu wants to find a cozy spot with her boyfriend. There were a lot of French production people involved in this. A lot. I mean, holy shit. And yeah, in Mumbai, there's a lot of work and money, so why would you ever want to leave? Killer soundtrack, as I noted. We see Prabha's, like work as a nurse. She's very, very good, like figuring out a lot of this stuff, figuring out how to deal with patients, even though she's a little bit down because of her estranged husband. Um, and it seems like Mumbai has its issues, kind of like Seattle, to be perfectly honest. In fact, I got vibes of Seattle with how there were some great parts and some parts were, ooh boy. Um, Anu also just wants to spend time with her boyfriend. That's actually kind of a sweet thing about it because they do genuinely seem to care about each other. And there's a poem from a doctor that I call Dr. Poem. I just found that to be an endearing term. There's also a cat that ends up having kittens or is pregnant. I don't actually think we ever see the cat with the kittens. Disappointed. 2 stars off. A kid, of course, a kid. Great movie. Just had to say that. But essentially, like a little bit early on in the film, there's a rice cooker that is sent to Prabha. And that's from her estranged husband. Kind of a nice gift because he can't really call, he can't really do much because he's working hard in a factory in Germany. And it's from him. Well, it's from a mysterious person, but it's implied that, he gives it to her. And basically, we just bop back and forth. We see that Parvati has been living in a house for like 22 years. She's set to be kicked out because she doesn't have proper papers. Her husband's not there. Unfortunately, women aren't viewed all that great over there. Honestly, it's what I heard. I've known people that used to live there. But unfortunately now, Parvati basically has a choice. Get the papers or she might have to move back to her village. We see more of Anu and Shiraz. Prabha misses her husband. I'm probably butchering these names totally, but it's how they pronounce it and how I pronounce it, like almost phonetically. During the vet examination, people who were scared of cats were mice in a previous life. That's a really good line, by the way. Almost should be on a shirt. And then Shiraz basically reveals, hey, by the way, there's going to be a wedding going on. We might actually get some alone time at my aunt and uncle's place or whatever because I'm struggling with, how to kind of have a foothold, have my own place, this kind of stuff, because you got to buddy up because housing is a little bit of a luxury there, I guess. And so because Prabha's marriage was arranged, they didn't really have a chance to get to know each other. And even if, there was a bit of a connection, sometimes with arranged marriages, and I've talked to people that were involved in arranged marriages, there could be a connection that works. And then there could be some where you look on the surface, it seems like they're going to work well, and then they don't. Sometimes two people just don't have that camaraderie. It's like two sides of the magnet that can't go together, two opposite sides. It just doesn't work. Or two same sides of it. The whole point is now Parvati is going to leave for her village. She just is tired of this stuff. She doesn't want to fight it. And she got a job, possibly, doing something. It's a small village. It looks like a beautiful place. It doesn't look like it has a whole lot of happening stuff. And basically, there's a ton of rain that falls. That cancels the wedding, so that can't happen. There's a little bit of a scene where the workers' unity, they're trying to uprise and say, hey, we built this city. We built this city with our bare hand. Not even rock and roll, because Jefferson Starship lied to us. I'm so disappointed to hear that. I think it was Jefferson Starship. So anyway, the poem that the doctor sent to Parabha, it was nice. It was endearing. He's going to be leaving soon. Won't be renewing his contract unless he's given a reason. But she's married, so she can't really, even though she has an idea that her husband probably won't be coming back and maybe could have found another woman or could be, quite frankly, dead over in Germany. Who knows? She's talking to Anu and basically says, you can't escape your fate. This is after they followed Parvati to her village, which does look like a beautiful village, I do want to say. I'm not much of a beach person, but it does look beautiful. Again, gorgeous cinematography, great locations, great performances. And it turns out that while Anu and Parvati went to help Parvati, settle in and electricity is kind of a luxury there. There's switches, but they don't always work. But there's a nice bar restaurant thing that almost looks like a Hawaiian tourist location. And things are going well, but it turns out Anu came for a different reason. She finally got alone time with her guy. They went to a cave. There were some carvings of, like, ancient people, and also, some graffiti of, like, this person forever. It's kind of a love cave, shall we say. And then we see that there's, some nice shots of people. We see some nice shots of people back in the village. We then go back to Anu and Shiaz, and they finally are able to get it on the goddamn forest, which, good for those crazy kids. Those crazy kids that have to at least be in their 20s. And then suddenly somebody is caught in a net and washes up on shore. Parava sees this, gives the man CPR, and is thought to be her husband. Maybe people are seeing this, wondering what the hell happened. How would he get from Germany to that? Is that her husband? Is she imagining all this? Is she just working this out in her head? Because I have several questions about how that might have happened. This might have been her way of compartmentalizing and leaving the guy in the past because she didn't want to see him again, which is what she ends up saying to him. Even though he says in the darkness, we can, we try to see the light, but we can't. And essentially, after a little bit of, like, this old lady sees the guy, and it's like it's seemingly implied that is her husband, but she doesn't want to see him again because she's moved on. This is like her way of working that out, I guess. This is the kind of part where it lost me a little bit. I don't know if, like, again, cultural things or just the way it was shot. But here, Shiaz was worried because he's Muslim that he wasn't going to be accepted, but him and Anu are there. They are accepted. Everything's fine. And they sit on the beach, seemingly going back the next day to their life in Mumbai. But we don't get to see that because the film ends right there, and that is it for All We Imagine as Light. That is, it's pretty goddamn good. Pretty goddamn good. Pretty absorbing. Might be one of my favorite films of the year, and time will tell because it's only like mid-August as of this recording, but it's really up there because it is beautifully shot, even with a couple things that maybe are a little vague, a little bit strange in their presentation. I found this to be completely absorbing with 3 great performances, and the guy playing Shiaz did a good job, so I'm pretty certain I butchered all those names. I do apologize, like anybody from this film is going to be watching this. If you happen to be from India watching this, what did you think of this film? And please, be kind, guys, because I reviewed RRR. That was really good, and I got the dialect wrong, and I'm sorry. Still my second most popular review on this channel, but A+ for All We Imagine as Light. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritland, and until we light again, happy trails to you.